I checked out the word hypocrite, and I found out that it comes from the Greek word hypocrites, which means someone who acts from underneath a mask. In simple language, a stage actor or a theater actor, one who is able to convince the audience by the way he interprets or plays out his role that he is really the person or that person, which of course he is not. He is just play acting. The actors in ancient Greek theaters wore masks to project their character. At the end of the play, they would come out and remove their masks as they were applauded for their performance, of course. There is nothing essentially wrong about play acting in itself. It is a respected kind of performing art. And we call the actors artists, di ba? In Tagalog, we say artista. Good actors can get in and out of the characters that they portray, and they can return to being themselves when they are no longer on a stage or before a set. And so, it is in a way unfair to give a negative meaning to the word hypocrite if you know the linguistic background to it, namely that it has to do with pag-aartista, play acting. Actors know, anyway, that they're just acting. Perhaps when Jesus applies the metaphor of play acting to the scribes and the Pharisees, what he really meant was bad play acting, or even OA, overacting. It is one thing to play the role of the Messiah, and another thing to actually behave and believe that you are really the Messiah, or you are really the Son of God. The proper term for that is not play acting, but behaving in a delusional way. Delusion ang tawag dyan. That is in fact the sense that I get when I read the common definition of a hypocrite as a person who acts in contradiction to his or her stated beliefs or feelings. It is the inconsistency that gives them away. In modern acting workshops, merong ganitong prinsipyo. If you want to be a convincing actor, don't consciously play a role, or don't consciously act out a character. Rather, be that character. Enter into the skin of that character. I shared to you yesterday about the turning point in the life of Bartholomew before he became Nathaniel. How his conversion experience was paralleled by the gospel writer with the story of Jacob before he became Israel. How he became the ancestor of the people of the covenant with a mission of serving as a bridge between heaven and earth, but only after he was able to outgrow his deceitful character, only after divesting himself of his duplicity. You know, that word duplicity, sa Tagalog, duplikara. I have pointed out many times before that the typical portrayal of the Pharisees in the Gospels as hypocrites in that negative sense of bad play acting is a bit unfair. Sa totoo lang, historically speaking. They were not at all as ill-willed as they are portrayed in the Gospels to be. In fact, Jesus seemed to be very close to many Pharisees. While he knew that some of these Pharisees were following him for the wrong reason, or in order to know what charges to bring against him, he also knew that there were among these Pharisees those who were genuinely interested in his teachings, like Nicodemus. If you remember, in chapter 4 of the Gospel of John, we hear a lot about a Pharisee named Nicodemus, who is portrayed by the Gospel writer as a closet disciple. A closet disciple who came to see Jesus only in the dead of night. Sa gabi siya dumadalaw because he was not yet ready to face the possible consequences of being known publicly as a follower of this carpenter rabbi from Nazareth. I imagine how Nicodemus must have suffered as a Pharisee, trying to put up a face before his fellow Pharisees who were mostly very negative to Jesus, who denounced what Jesus was doing. This Pharisee would eventually find the courage to come out. He would eventually find the courage to go public and to face the consequences of being a disciple of Jesus. And that is at Calvary, at the foot of the cross. His presence at the crucifixion is, well, his final act of removing his mask as an actor in order to show his true face to the public. And so, if only to honor Pharisees like Nicodemus, I think we should stop equating the word Pharisaical with hypocritical.